Welcome back to our channel. In most of the competitive exam, whenever we are getting some question, there are various methods to approach the question. Okay. So among various methods, the most efficient one is whichever the method you are getting the answer with less calculation and with less time. Okay, because as in most of the exam, hardly you will get less than 1 minute to solve the question. So in today's lecture, I will tell you by using your common sense or by using some option deletion method, how quickly and without doing much more calculation, how you can get the answer for your question. So we are going to start the video. Suppose the first question. This question belongs to compound interest. The question is principal amount is given 2000, time period 2 years, rate of interest 14%, and you have to calculate what is the compound interest. So there is a conventional method where directly by applying the formula, we can get the solution for this question. What is the conventional method? Like suppose we are using the formula. The formula to calculate compound interest is nothing but P whole into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power T minus 1. Okay, so this is the direct formula that we can use to get the solution of this question. Now what you have to do, you just put the value P is 2000, 1 plus R is 14 divided by 100 whole to the power, time period is 2 years, minus 1. Now what is the problem in this? The first thing is you have to remember the formula, which is quite difficult. Even if you remember the formula, calculation of this thing will take more than 1 minute because you do not have the calculator in exam. You have to do it manually. Okay. And if you are not good in finding the squares and all, this calculation will take more than 1 minute, 1.5 or 2 minutes like that. Okay. So you will not be that much of effective. So we are not going to use this formula to get the solution of this question. Rather, there is one more shortcut trick. If here the time period is 2 years and the rate of interest is 14% every year. Okay, so for that one, we have one more trick to calculate the net rate of interest, that is A plus B plus A into B by 100. Okay, so by using this formula, you can get the net rate of interest, and from that net rate of interest, if you will multiply with the principal amount, you will get the compound interest. So how to get it? What is the net rate of interest? The formula is A plus B plus AB by 100. Okay, so for first year it is 14%. For second year again it is 14% plus 14 into 14 divided by 100. Okay, 14 plus 14, 28. 14 square is 196 by 100, 1.96. So total you will get 29.96 if you will solve it. This is 28, this is 1.96. 28 plus 1.96, 29.96. And approximately we are taking as 30%. Okay, so the net rate of interest we got 30%. Effective rate of interest is 30%. And just we will calculate what is 30% of 2000. Okay, 30% of 2000, which is equal to 30 by 100. If you are good in calculation, so 30% of 2000 is 3 into 2 just 6, so it will be 600. Otherwise, 30% is 30 by 100 into 2000, you will get it is 600. Okay. If you will good in it, so within 30 or 40 seconds, you will get the answer. So compound interest is 600. Okay, so we can see without applying this complex formula and without doing this complex calculation, very easily we can get the solution. And if the amount of calculation is less, then believe me, there will be less probability of getting a wrong answer. Similarly, let's come to the second question. So in second question, what is given? A is to B, A by B ratio is given 7/4. So once I'll write it, but I will tell you what is the conventional way to solve this method. A by B is given 7/4. So A by B equal to 7/4. That implies if we will do cross multiplication, 4A equal to 7B. This is one equation we get. Second, after 5 years, okay, after 5 years, the ratio between A and B is 11/7. Okay, so after 5 years means I can write A plus 5 divided by B plus 5. And what is this ratio? This ratio I am getting 11:7. This is our second equation. So we are getting two equations. We have to solve these two equations. And after that, we will get the answer. But here again, if you will do this, the solution of this problem in this conventional method, again, it will take 2 and 3 minutes like that. Okay. So without that, if you can use some common sense from the option, if we will do some back calculation, without this thing, we can get the answer. First thing is we have to calculate the value of A. We are not bothering about B. We have to calculate the value of A. So in this equation, what is the A? What is A value? Suppose A value is 7. Okay. Now from this option, we will see which is a multiple of 7. That's it. Okay. So here A by B equal to 7:4. So A value is corresponding to 7. Okay. So the answer should be multiple of 7. So first option, it is 12. 12 is multiple of 7. No. So A cannot be the right answer for this question. Second option, 14. 14 is multiple of 7. Yes, 7 to the 14. So 14 can be the right answer. Next, 15. Is 15 is divisible by 7? No. So 15 cannot be the right answer. 28. Is 28 divisible by 7? Yes, 28 also divisible by 7. 7 4 is the 28. So 28 can also be the right answer. So our answer should be in between B or D. Clear? Suppose, for example, in question paper, instead of 14, suppose they are giving 15 or 13 or 16 like that. So 16, suppose they are giving 16 instead of 14 here. So 16 is multiple of 7? No. So this cannot be the right answer. So the only option left behind is option D. Again, suppose instead of 28, they have given 29 or 30 like that. So 30 is divisible by 7? No. So this cannot be the right answer. So our right answer will be option B. But unfortunately, in this question here, we are getting two options which are multiple of 7. So we are getting 150-50 chances whether the answer is B or the answer is D. For that one, we have to read the question further. Clear? What is the further question? After 5 years, ratio between A and B is 11:7. So after 5 years, the A value should be corresponding to 11. Suppose we are considering our answer is 14. So initially the value of A is 14. So after 5 years, what is the age of A? So after 5 years, the value of A becomes 14 plus 5. It will be 19 years. Now after 5 years, A value is corresponding to 11. So now we have to see whether this 19 is divisible by 11 or not. So 19 is not divisible by 11. So option B cannot be the right answer. So the only option which is left behind is option D. So option D will be the correct answer for this question. Now we will verify whether it is right or not. So initially, the value of A is 28. After 5 years, what will be the value of A? After 5 years, value of A is 28 plus 5. It will be 33 years. Now after 5 years, what is the value corresponding to A? 11. Whether 11 is divisible by 33 or not? Yes, 11 3s are 33. So that's why we have concluded that the right answer for this question is option number D, that is 28 years. So you can see, without applying this equation or without doing that much of calculation, just by option deletion method or just by some back calculation, we got the right answer for this question. Similarly, if we'll see the next question, dash square plus 79 square is equal to 172 square minus 88 square minus 8203. Okay, we have to find out this value, whether it is 86 or 89 or 83 or 93. Okay. So here also the conventional method is you have to calculate the square of all these terms, then you have to subtract this, and this one you have to take to right hand side, subtract it, and whatever the value you will get, take the square root of that value and you will get the answer. It will take hardly 3 to 4 minutes to solve this question if you are not good in calculating squares. So it will be a very lengthy method and time taking will be more to solve this question. 3 to 4 minutes you have to invest for this particular question to get the right answer. And the second problem is you have to do lots of calculation. Lots of calculation, what I mean, you have to calculate 172 square, you have to calculate 88 square, you have to calculate 79 square, then you have to subtract all these things. After that, again, you have to calculate the square root of that term. After that only you will get the answer. And if you are doing that many calculation, then there are more probability that you will do some mistake in the exam. Because in exam always there is some anxiety. So there is a probability that you will do some mistake when you will do lots of calculation in exam. So that's why to avoid those mistakes, we have to avoid the calculation. We have to avoid lots of calculation. For that, we have to apply some smart way. What is that smart way? Here, what we will see, here this left hand side should be equivalent to right hand side. If left hand side is equivalent to right hand side, then whatever the unit digit place will be there in left hand side, that should be equivalent to the unit digit place of right hand side. So we have to calculate the unit digit place. Okay, we have to calculate the unit digit place. Okay, now see here in this term, what is the unit digit? Here the unit place, the digit is 3. So for this one, the unit digit number is 3. Simple. Now come to this point, 88 square. So by using the common sense, what will be the unit digit place when you will calculate 88 square? 8 squares is 64. In 64, unit digit place is 4. So here we will get the unit digit place as 4. Okay. Now similarly here 172 square. If you will calculate 172 square, what is the unit digit place? So here unit digit is 2. So 2 square is 4. So here also in unit digit we will get 4. Okay. So in the right hand side, I'll write here. In right hand side, what is the unit digit we are getting? 4 minus 4 is 0 minus 3. Okay, so 0 minus 3, don't take it as minus 3. 0 minus 3 means it will be 7. Means 4 minus 4, we are getting 0. Minus, here is 3. Okay, so 0 minus 3, don't assume that it will be minus 3. Because here there will be some numbers will be there definitely. Here if we have 1, then the answer will be 7. Here if it is 2, then the answer is 17. Here if it is 3, then the answer is 27. So what is the unit digit place we are getting? 7. So in right hand side, the unit digit place is 7. Okay, 4 minus 4, 0. 0 minus 3. If we will calculate in this manner, so unit digit, we will get 7. If in right hand side we are getting 7 as unit digit number, in left hand side also the unit digit number should be 7. Now we'll see 79 square. So if you calculate 79 square, what is the unit digit place? 9 square is 81. So unit digit place is 1. So here we are getting 1. So to make it equivalent, here the value is 7. Unit digit place is 7. To make it equivalent, what should be this value? Okay, so this value should be 6. So that we will get in left hand side 6 plus 1. Left hand side we will get unit digit place 7. And right hand side also already we are having unit digit place 7. Then only it will be equivalent. So what do you mean by this 6? Whatever the value we will put here, if you will calculate the square of that value, unit digit should come as 6. Now from the option, we will see in for which option, if we will take the square of that one, unit digit, we are getting 6. If we will take 86 square, what is the unit digit? 6. So 86 can be the answer. If we will take 89 square, what will be the unit digit? 9 square is 81. So in unit digit, we are getting 1. But what is our requirement? Our requirement is 6. So 89 cannot be the right answer. Similarly, option C, 83. If we calculate 83 square, what is the unit digit place? 3 square is 9. So our requirement is 6. So option C also cannot be the right answer. Option D, 93 square. Unit digit we will get 3 square is 9. But our requirement is 6. So option D also deleted. So the only option which is left behind is option number A, 86. So 86 will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. So in this manner, by using some shortcut tricks, by using some common sense, by doing some back calculation from the option, we can be able to get the solution of those questions in less than 1 minute. In 30 or 40 seconds, you can be able to get the solution of these kinds of questions. And the most important thing is here we do not have to do lots of calculation. And if lots of calculations are not there, then there is very less probability of getting a wrong answer. Okay, so you are saving the time, you are saving the calculation, and you are getting the right answer. And that's how we have to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of our performance during the exam to crack it out. Thank you very much to see this video. Once again, in our next video, we will come with some new concept. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.